take your call. Please leave a message after the tone.
So I don't want to freak you out, but I can see inside your room from the street. Get some blinds and call me back. Or just come outside because I'm here right now. Alright. Bye. Nightfall, slow motion, and I shouldn't be here. On the count of three.
You're tuned in to Grown Folks Production. In the mix. With the commish, Nate.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. It is OMFL Media Days, Day 1, Session 2 in here. We got our buddies. Let's get over here and let you see them all. We got Mr. Nice Songer sitting over here with us as they all load in. Mr. Big Hurt and Mr. Tim. Should be a really great show. Bill was going to join us, but he needed to change last second, so he'll join us on Wednesday. He'll be here. It'll be a really great time. Fellas, how we doing tonight on a Sunday night?
Doing good.
Doing great. For media days.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. Media days is always an absolute blast. Nice Songer, we're going to start with you, buddy. You moved yourself away from your favorite team in Madden 25 and over to the Jacksonville Jaguars. So we're going to talk about those Jaguars, but I want to give you a space for an opening statement.
Well, really intrigued. The Jaguars are going to be a really young team. They got a lot of young players. Then with the imports I'm bringing over, it's going to be a quite interesting rebuild, but not as bad as I once thought.
I don't know if you know this, but there is a dinosaur that just walked in behind you. You might want to be careful. That thing looks like it is hungry, and it might absolutely eat you alive. Let's talk about those Jacksonville Jaguars before we get rolling here. Madden 25, man, it was this weird game for, I think, a whole bunch of us. But what did you do in Madden 25, taking over the Jacksonville Jaguars? How'd that go for you? What'd you learn about that team?
I learned that Brian Thomas can't go anywhere. Without him, you don't have a receiving core.
Yeah, I should have smacked you the second you tried to do that.
Yeah, he's got to, I figured out that he's got to stay, and it's all about the run game, setting up the pass with that team. They don't have the greatest offensive line, so you got to take some weight off from pass blocking by running the ball. And first season with Jacksonville, I didn't have really a good rusher. Second season, I got Sergio Scarborough and started to figure some things out. And actually, toward the end of the last season, I felt more confident. 2 games putting up 35 plus. The running game was clicking. The play action pass started clicking. I feel that if I would have done that a little sooner, I would have been a little better getting closer to the playoffs.
You made a deal with the devil. My goodness. Let's see if that follows you into Madden 26, though. What'd you learn about yourself, your team, your play calling in Madden 25 you think will help you in Madden 26?
I think I learned that sometimes I'm willing to let go of players that might not exactly fit my play style. So like those Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison type that are, you get them in the middle of the field with the ball and they break tackles and then you run away from people. When you kind of need that guy that can just straight up run away from everybody instead of having to break a tackle to run away. As great as Justin is in the game, having speed really kills, and I had none on Jacksonville's team once Thomas was gone. So it was like driving a Pinto next to everybody else's Porsche.
What else did you learn about your team in Madden 25 that you think will come over into Madden 26 just to make you a better team, a better player? And also, what would be the character of your team? You talk about speed and sort of you didn't have all the tools in the tool shed. It took you a bit to get those. Like, what would be the character, the identity of the Jaguars in Madden 26?
I'd have to say it's about the run game, physical. You gotta overpower your opponent. So stifling defense and solid run game.
Is there anything there with the speed? Do you think you're going to have to go out there and get speed again?
No. Jacksonville did me some favors with Burish Al-Tootin, 95 speed, 96 acceleration running back. Defensive side of the ball, they got me a free safety with 95 speed, 96 acceleration. Got Thomas. And then you got Bigsby, who's more of a power back with 92 speed. So I got that 1-2 punch at running back that are young. Got Hunter at 93 speed. There's speed all over that team now.
What about your play calling? What's got to change in Madden 26 for you to be a better team?
Less predictability. I can go out first couple drives and I can drive down the field. After that, people know what I'm trying to call, what I'm trying to do, and I got to mix it up more. Maybe throwing more on first down, running a run play on third down just to try to catch people off guard. At this point, people know what my MO is and how I'm going to attack that after the first couple drives, and I need to switch it up so that they, wait, what? Don't know what's coming at them.
Our buddy is running on 3 hours sleep. We should have started with that little nugget. So I appreciate you making time for us. All right, last question. Who you're most excited about 3 players in Madden 26 on those Jaguars, and give me like a 1-word response of why you're excited to have them.
Travis Hunter, versatility, straight up. He can play both sides of the ball. The ratings are crazy. Caleb Ransow, I think is his name, free safety. He's just speed for days on the back end. There's not many people who are going to be throwing over the top and not having to worry about him tracking that down. And then I'm probably butchering his name, but Burrishal Tootin. He's got like 75 strength to go with all that speed. He's not just a one-trick pony. He's the whole package. He's
the
like
whole
what
package.
You look for the
name of your next OMFL podcast show. That's what we're going to call it, Big Hurt. The whole package. And we're just going to put Tim and Big Hurt and Maniac and Trey in a room, and we're going to let y'all do like a 14-hour show. Y'all just going to go at it and just like talk all day. Well, nice song. I'm pulling for you, brother. You're one of my favorite owners here, and I'm looking for you to get those Jags. We need the Jags to be winning some football games, because when the Jags are playing good football, that AFC is going to be taking it up a whole entire notch, and there's some new blood over there. So the power is shifted around with this latest kind of mix-up of Logan and Penguins and Trey. So I think you got an opportunity there to step into something. I appreciate you making time for us, brother.
Thank you,
Mr. Big Hurt. We're gonna talk to you next. I got to save the man with the plan, with the buzzwords, with the clip notes. We're gonna save him for absolutely last. Big Hurt, you're over in Minnesota. You took that team over from Mr. Nicesanger. So let's talk about your team just a little bit and give you an opportunity for some opening statements here.
Yeah, I'm excited for Madden 26. I think the Vikings are going to be a really fun team to play with this year. What they did in the offseason in real life, beefing up the offensive line and the defensive line, I think is going to be something that isn't always the fun picks to make. And so them doing that and kind of allowing me to really look at how I want to use my imports is something that I'm excited about. I'm also excited to have a team from the get-go, because like last year I started with the Falcons and then took over the Vikings right around Christmas time. So obviously there were some moves that were made on this team, but this team I think is going to be fun to start with right out of the box.
Man, you put together quite the team there right at the end, and we're making some runs. So let's talk about Madden 25 just in general. You've moved around a lot, but you've sort of said, hey, this Minnesota Vikings team, this feels like might be my team for a little bit. So how did Madden 25 go for you just overall?
I thought it went well. Obviously the North's been a fun division, battling with Tim and Priest, and Colin had a really good cycle, pulling out a win, and obviously being a pretty strong staple there in the NFC for, I'd say, the last 3-4 seasons in this last, I think it was last 3 seasons or so in this last cycle. But overall for me, I competed. I kind of took the team over and made a few small adjustments and kept drafting and trying to fill pieces, and I just didn't feel like I ever really got where I wanted to be. The first couple times I hit the playoffs, Justin Jefferson was hurt, and that was kind of like my go-to piece. So that was something that I really struggled with, was injuries at like key times. But overall, it was a fun cycle. I mean, I competed well, and like I had, built some rivalries, and look forward to those in 26.
What kind of lessons would we learn about those Vikings, about yourself, about Madden 25 that you think will take into Madden 26 with you?
Well, it's kind of a twofold question for me, because when I read it, I'm like, for Madden 26, what I learned, or well, Madden 25 going into 26, what I learned about myself is, this is definitely my kind of escape from life. Is things have been crazy this last year or so, but I've enjoyed playing and being able to disconnect from life and get away. My kids and stuff like that are awesome. I wouldn't trade them for anything, but at the same time, they keep me really busy. And my job has been a whirlwind, and my parents' health and stuff. So it's been fun, but at the same time, stressful and kind of put me through the gauntlet a little bit. But I think Madden 25 taught me, to be a little more diverse in my playing calling, because I felt like back years ago, a couple of Maddens ago, I really relied on my defense. And then I got kind of away from that and became more of an offensive person. And when I went and played with the Vikings, I feel like I went back to my roots and played a little bit stronger defense, and had to kind of grind out some wins and establish a running game and stuff like that, just to kind of not chew up the clock, or not to waste the clock and give my opponents more time on the clock. So I think that taught me, to go back to my roots, trust my defense, trust myself and my play calling. And that's just the way this division is you could score 30 or 40 points, or you could score 15 or 20, and you just have to win in kind of diverse ways.
You said going back to your roots. I think I would identify you as a defense first guy, but what do you think the identity for your team is going to be in Madden 26?
That's interesting. I mean, I think for me, it's just going to be offensive line and defensive line play, kind of the battle of the trenches, a position that I played growing up in high school, and then was recruited to play in college before I blew my knee out. But I think, like I said, the Vikings added some pieces. Jonathan Allen, I'm trying to think of the name, Ryan Kelly, Javon Hargrove. Like, they just added some guys in the trenches that are going to be big name, big pieces, plug and play right away. But I'm going to have to retool and rebuild that as well, because those guys are roughly 29, 30, 31 years old. And, so that I'll have them to start, but I'll have to kind of retool with some youth there. But I think for 26, it's going to be important for me to really win the game in the trenches, and that's just stopping the run, getting pressure with the defensive line, so I don't have to rely on my blitz, and then offensively, run the ball, establish the run game, but also be able to utilize the play action or whatever. With JJ McCarthy not being on Mahomes or a Josh Allen, gunslinger, I think it's going to be important for me to have that run game.
Madden 25, I think overall cycle of sort of steady progression for you and the Vikings. What has to change when it comes to either team building or play calling in Madden 26 for you to continue that upward trinity, that trend that you are making?
I think it's something that I think play calling is something that I just kind of always am trying to adjust and adapt to. But for me, I think it's going to be drafting better. I don't always draft the best, and I sit and watch guys like Little Koch, for say, he just drafts really well, or Trey, or some of these guys. It's like they literally, if you were to give them a grade, it's like they get a draft every time. And I would say I'm lucky if I get anything other than a D or an F. And it's just, I don't know what the magic tool is or what it is. If it's just, I don't want to say pure luck, because if it was luck, they wouldn't always do it. But I need to figure out how to up my game when it comes to the draft time. I can usually compete with free agency, but obviously that becomes like bidding wars. And with contracts like Justin Jefferson, I'm not going to always be able to do that. So I think for me, it would just be drafting better to be able to have better youth and pieces that I can use. I'm looking forward to that D tackle. I think I'm going to import him. He's young and he's super raw, but I think he has a lot of good tangibles and stuff. So I'm looking at him, and that was a guy that I drafted in this last draft. So
let's talk about players, since you already kind of opened the door there. What are your top 3 most excited to have players, in a one-word description of why?
I would say for me, obviously Justin Jefferson, just elite. He's good at everything, and he's a guy that I can rely on. So I would say Justin Jefferson for sure. For me, the second and the third player, I'm going to throw out Jordan Addison. I think Jordan Addison's a guy that I can put with Justin Jefferson. And for a while, I was kind of trying to find a number 2 receiver. I had Gabe Davis. I traded for Rashad Bateman. Then I had the rookie that I brought up, Roy Davis, and I kind of made him and blossomed him into a number 2 receiver. But I didn't ever really feel like I had the number 2 guy to go with my go-to guy in Jay Jettis. I think Jay Jettis is obviously a top 3 receiver in the league. So in real life. And so I just need to have somebody else take the pressure off. And I feel like if I would have had that, I could have maybe gotten through it one playoff game or something. But when he went down, I just didn't have enough. So I would say Jordan Addison's number 2. And then number 3, I'm actually going to throw out my imports. I just think I really gained a lot of trust with the guys that I'm looking at bringing over. So it's kind of more than just one person as the number 3. But those guys I think are going to fill some holes. And for the last 2 seasons or so, I kind of had a pretty good idea of what I was going to bring over into this cycle. And I think these pieces that I'm bringing are going to be able to fill in really nicely with the way the Vikings have built a team in real life. So
Fill some holes. Your Minnesota Vikings podcast coming to you in Madden 26. Stay for the lookout. Sign up. Hit the subscribe button. You want to listen to that one. Big Hurt, I appreciate you, man. I know a lot's going on. You got some big training coming up here soon. Thinking about you, praying for you, but appreciate you and looking forward to see the Vikings do here in Madden 26, bud.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm heading out Tuesday, so I'll be out there, but I'm still taking the old PlayStation with me to be able to, disengage and
gotta have something to
be
do.
able to. So yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to 26 and rebuilding those rivalries with Tim and Priest and Colin if he stays in the North. Hopefully he does, but we'll see. Yeah, I'm looking forward to 26.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Well, there you have it, Mr. Big Hurt of the Minnesota Vikings. And now there was one guy left, Mr. Tim, the guy with the one-line punchlines the headlines that everybody takes notice of. Tim, your Detroit Lions had a hell of a Madden 25. Building on what you did in Madden 24, I know you didn't get the postseason success that you had hoped for, but here's some time for you to talk opening statements about your team and looking forward to Madden 26.
Well, you just said it right there. In Madden 24 or even 23, no one would ever think that I would be a consistent playoff team. I would be sniffing the playoffs and then fade away towards the very end. Clearly, in Madden 25, I was clearly a playoff team majority of the seasons. So it's building on that success. It's continuing the consistency. Consistency is a key word, and making sure that I play to my ability and don't play down to my opponent sometimes. Because sometimes we all do that. Sometimes I will need a big win against Priest, and for some reason, Priest gets me. And there's a handful of players that are like, why is this game so close? And I need to be I'm entering one of the best rosters in the game, and I need to act like that. I need to rely on that roster and utilize that, um, and be more consistent.
Outlaw used to be mine. Outlaw used to be one of those guys like, how's he keeping this so close to me? He just had my number. Well, let's talk about Madden 25 a little bit more. You talked about you didn't have it quite like you thought, but how did Madden 25 just overall go for the Detroit Lions?
Well, it was good because I had the Lions the whole cycle. That was the familiarity and the players that I know, and watch every Sunday, and just building, them up, and having ups and downs with that team, and building along the great rival that the NFC North. The NFC North was one of the best rivals in all of Madden 25 between Colin and Hurt and Priest. So we were all fighting for division and division lead or playoff spots and seedings, and sometimes it came down to a game or two.
Yeah, it was a great season for the overall general division, and you had a champion come out in Madden 25 from that division. Well, let's talk about lessons learned. What'd you learn in Madden 25 that you think will help you in Madden 26?
Make sure to count your money. I did a good job on the Ragnow situation where Ragnow was aging, and I had players that could step up right behind him, and so I let him go. I traded him to D money, even though I didn't really want to. But I replaced that, and then last season I decided, oh, you know what? I don't need St. Brown, and that bit me in the butt big time the last season. I was third in big play. There's a saying in this household: "When in doubt, throw it to St. Brown." And it's hard to find St. Brown when he's on the Dolphins.
Yep, you got to make sure that money's right so you can keep those guys as long as you possibly can.
He's staying.
Well, let's see if he stays this time. I don't know. You know how things progress. Some guys, they come and offer you something. You think, oh yeah, in the moment you caught me at a bad time here. What's going to be the identity, the character of the Detroit Lions in Madden 26?
I think my MO has been clear. It's grit. It's Detroit versus everybody. I've used that the last couple of seasons. I've came with the attitude for a while now of this is my division. We run the North. Clearly, Madden 25 proved that was false. And Colin was the clear leader of the North with, like you said, the championships, and he won the division more times than not. I was even the second probably best team in that division, and that goes to Hurt. But it's still the confidence, the swag, it's the cockiness of, hey, this is my division. We're go out to this is mine for the taking.
Cockiness and swag, your Detroit Lions podcast coming to Madden 26. You guys are throwing out all kinds of great names of podcasts here. Madden 26, we've talked about the identity and lessons learned, but what's got to change about your team? What's got to change either about your play calling or about your team building in Madden 26 for you to be able to take that next step?
Less predictability. I think Nysinger said it best. I got JMO on my team. You know the streak is going to happen. You know the deep shot's going to take. But when is it most effective? When I do it every third play? No. It's when you least expect it, and then I throw it up and chuck it deep to him. It's relying on the other players. I'm gonna run with Gibbs. I'm gonna run with Montgomery. I'm gonna pass to Laporta. I'm gonna pass to St. Brown. Oh, then I'm gonna throw a deep shot to JMO. It's mixing it up that way so that you don't know what's coming.
Yeah, predictability can be the theme of the night here tonight. Well, let's talk about some of these players. You've thrown a lot of big names that we've all heard of, but who are the three guys you're most excited to have in Madden 26? And give me a one-word description of why.
Well, I read that question and I thought, well, three players. I can't really think of three players, But I can think of 3 situations where I'm curious to know how I replace them. And I'll take the one in the real life, Frank Ragnow, the Lions retired. So the question is, how do I replace one of the best centers in Madden 25? And so the real life Lions drafted 2 young guards, one from Georgia, one from LSU. So I'm curious to see, can I develop them, or do I need to go out in the draft and address that as a top priority? So that's an area I'm going to be looking at right away. Linebacker Bruce Ross is retired from OMFL. So how do I replace that definitely leader of my defense? Now, I've drafted a good import. He's going to be an import, Michael Phillips, the middle linebacker. He's got to take over that role of being the leader on the defense.
You better not forget to put Bruce in the Hall of Fame nominations. That guy feels like a Hall of Famer here.
He will be. He will be. I already talked to Trey. We're both going to submit him together since Trey drafted him. It's only fair. And so replacing him. And then what do I do with Deontay Scott, who's also retiring and is going to be a Hall of Fame nominee? How do I replace him on the CB? I'm not really bringing an import that's position, but that doesn't mean that with a real life Lions got DJ Reed, so that's going to be a help on that. But is it open season on the CBs now that I don't have a 95 speed CB? I don't know. We're going to find out real soon. I mean, I got to watch out for Justin Jefferson and the Doomsday and all the weapons that Priest has. So I'm going to be tested right off the beginning, and how my team responds is going to tell me what direction, what areas I need to address right away.
What are you doing about quarterback? It's an extra bonus question. You don't seem to be a golf guy, so do we have an answer at quarterback?
Okay, first off, I love Jared Goff. My kids love Jared Goff. They broke down and cried when I realized that I couldn't afford him in the game. And Jared Goff will not play one snap in Madden 26. I am bringing the import Justin Fargas over. So he's gone, and I double-checked. I even looked at the new rule because somebody said, wait a minute, you have to be 30. Jared Goff is 30. So he qualifies on that. So Fargas will be taking over the quarterback. There's too much familiarity with him. He is in a prime position where he could be one of the top 5 quarterbacks in OMFL. He could take that next step. The question is, will he? I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, he's going to be a fun player. You played really well with him. Well, fellas, I appreciate you both. Shout out to Nice Hunger. I told him to get out of here. I appreciate you both hanging out there. I was like, Nice Hunger's got 3 hours sleep. He's got to get up and work at 8. I was like, go to bed. Go get some sleep so you don't get yourself hurt.
I got to be up at 5.
Well, then let's get you out of here too. So I appreciate all these guys for hanging out with me here tonight. We had Big Hurt. We had Nice Hunger. We had Mr. Tim. This is a fun division over here. Nice Hunger used to be over there, but him and Big Hurt flip-flopped a little bit. We'll have Colin and Priest a little later on our OMFL Media Days, and I'm sure they're going to have their own sort of thoughts and processes about what's going to happen there in that division. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks for hanging out with me for session 2 here on OMFL Media Days. Tomorrow, we're going to have OMFL Media Days number 2, and I think we have 2 sessions again tomorrow at 4 and 9. It should be a ton of fun. So make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you've enjoyed yourself here tonight. It's my favorite thing that we do here outside of the draft. Draft's always a fun night. Usually get a bunch of guys that pop in and you're drafting new players. There's a lot of crap talk, guys stealing players from that other players, coaches wanted or had their eye on. But this is just fun to kind of get to know the dudes that play the games here in the grown folks community and definitely here in the OMFL. So for all the leadership here in the OMFL, I appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe. We got 9 or 8 more of these left to go. So come and hang out with us as we continue to interview the coaches in the OMFL. And then come right back and hang out with me because we got LSU and Florida coming up right after this is over. It's going to be a ton of fun. I appreciate you. Remember, you matter. Take care of yourselves. Take care of those around you. I love you. We'll see you in the next one. Yeah.
Smash that like and subscribe.